Doctor's appointment, second one, with my new psychiatrist, temporary. We'll see if we can get a med reduction here, because I had a little trouble on this dose here, the third highest. Oh, hey, Jonas.
All set, buddy? Alright. Hey, Crystal. You barbecue?
It's really tasty.
Nice. It's a beautiful day for it, that's for sure. So yeah, we'll go about it the same way, the perfect way that you did last time, eh? Sure. Sure. If you're still comfortable.
Nice to see you again. Okay. So when we last met, which was the first time we met, like last month, I said that you and I would talk again. So I wanted to make sure that we did connect before too long went by. I will fill you in though that I've just learned actually that Dr. Eckstein, the psychiatrist who's going to be starting to work here and working with most of the people who are living here, he said he's starting mid-July. So this will probably be the last time that you and I meet. But I did want to make sure that I came and talked to you again in person because you had some questions and just some stuff you wanted to discuss. So I didn't want to leave that unfinished.
But what have you learned about my file?
What do you mean?
Well, like the reason why I'm being held in psychiatric care, why I'm certified, about the reasons why I have to take the medication, right? Why I'm schizophrenic, what makes me schizophrenic, what are the telltale signs of schizophrenia?
Okay, sure. Well, and I know that you were talking with the staff here earlier today, and in fact, Ashley mentioned what I just met today. Mentioned that you had requested to get that information. And
well,
so
yeah, but you should be aware you had a month to look at it.
Yeah, so you absolutely have a right to get information on your file. And there's a process to do that by signing a release of information request, and you can get documents released to you. Like, you can get copies of your mental health records released to you, other parts of your file, consultations and things like that.
Well, you don't know me that much. Like, my last doctor, right, she treated me like a dog, eh? Like, she didn't make appointments, she just showed up. And then she said I threatened her, then she used a resident as a blocker, and SWAT was involved after, right? Because she was uttering things to the staff here, right? Confusing the whole situation, and the SWAT took me out, eh? Because she was confusing, right? She's being very confusing, right? Like, she's not a very good doctor, right? And she's a beast too, right? In her own sense, she made me a beast, eh? Right? She may have hate anger issues, right? Like, I have just a paycheck to you guys, right? As long as I'm on medication, you guys get paid, right? It's all about money, putting poor people on medications, isn't it? That's what they do, is put poor people on medications. Rich people don't get put on these medications, forced to take them, because they have lawyers, right? You're putting this stuff on poor people, so you guys can make money, like collect the paycheck. For how much money do you get for every client on hook on this shit? It's barf, right? But how much do you guys get a month, right, for having these people on these medications? And poor people can't fight, right?
That brings up a really good point, Adam. You absolutely have the right to a number of things under the Mental Health Act.
Well, I know, but I tried 4 times. I tried 4 times and no luck. Right? And the doctor says I'm violent and dangerous, right? That's Dr. Woodward's. Right? What makes me violent? Because I reject what she says. I'm not getting on my knees. I'm an air cadet. How am I supposed to get on my knees to you people? How do I get on my knees for her? I'm an air cadet. I cut people in half with my words. I was a lieutenant.
Yeah, you said it was a confusing situation, and I agree.
Well, I don't know. I was having sex in the community, right? And poor people can't have sex, and that's why you put me in the hospital, right? And I signed one document, and it was the Saskatchewan from the medical records, and I signed a PP clearly. PP. Because every time I get close to sex, you guys slap my PP. And you put me into different levels, right? Now I talk like this, right? But you made me this monster on this medication. I've become so bizarre about life in the future, right, on this medication that I have never felt so bad in my life. And I've never done so much crystal meth in my life to stay alive. Like this.
Crystal meth, this sounds like it's still a big part of your life.
Well, it has to be, right? Because I never did it in Saskatchewan. If I knew, like, you knew all the sort, what it helps, right? It's a soft drug compared to what I see as considered hard drugs. Like I don't do crack, I don't do cocaine, right? I don't do all that stuff, right? You know, cops do it, right? You guys get your drug source all from the police, right? Like you guys do drugs too, right? But you do hard drugs, right? And you feed us this shit.
What does it help with, Adam? You said it helps. So what do you know?
Well, it's basically so I can concentrate, listen to music. Right? I started listening to music because it hurts listening to music without crystal meth, right? On this medication, right? It'll help me concentrate and it'll help me focus on what my technology. I am an engineer technologist, right? Right? I'm graduated, right? I can buy things, right? The engineers can buy, right? Right? It's on my Visa card.
Yeah, you filled me in on that last time.
Yeah, that's why I can buy those signs. That's why I can buy those signs, right? You can't. Those are not for public purchases, right? You have to be an engineer to buy all that stuff, right? So like, and you know, like my stuff going missing, right? That's another thing, but that's not your business. But yeah, back to focusing. Yeah, like I never did crystal meth in Saskatchewan. I never did it, right? You got me hooked on this shit, right? I don't like it. I hate crystal meth.
Okay.
Right? Well, no. Well, there's nothing about love about it. I like drinking. I like beer. I don't like crystal meth. I don't like having to use crystal meth. I don't have to source it. I don't have to go all the way to our place society and get it. Yeah, I spent all my fucking money on it just to stay fucking alive on this fucking horse shit that you got me on.
Okay, so you like the effect of it, but you don't actually like having to use it, and you
No.
don't having to get it.
I almost die. I go into seizure if I don't have it. I start seizuring on this medication. I had a Valentine shot. That's James Cobb. There's some history behind what Valentine's Day is, and you get a special injection, eh? That means how many psychiatrists are on my case anyways? How many psychiatrists are designated to me?
Just one, so right now that's me, but next month it's going to be Dr. Eckstein. So.
And he's not working with 6 other psychiatrists on my case? Because when I went to True North, I had a different psychiatrist every day dealing with my case.
Yeah,
And even a resident, like
stages.
even like a resident, right?
Yeah.
Like the psychiatry is a joke. Like it's faith-based. It's Jesus. That's right. Your decision is based on Jesus and what Jesus believes on me if I'm a schizophrenic and I deserve his medications. It's a faith-based system. It's not science. You're taking your decisions on faith. Right? You're biblicaling me, eh? I'm an engineer and I'm a scientist.
Sure.
I do work in mathematics. I got triple A's in math. You want to do my math marks? Triple A's. How can I be schizophrenic and a mathematician? Am I making this shit up? I'm not. I'm
No,
suing.
I know that you're not making
I'm
this
suing,
up.
right? Math marks is good enough marks to sue you guys. To sue the shit out of Dr. Woodworth, right? For what she did. Look, I'm a beast. Look how fat I am. I'm having sleep apnea. You know what sleep apnea? I'm dying in my sleep because I can't breathe. I'm getting this sleep apnea machine hooked up to my throat, right? So I'm a beast. I'm dying in my sleep. I almost died because I didn't have crystal meth. I spent all my money on drugs. Can't believe what I have to do to fucking get that shit. It's hard to get.
So Adam, let's talk about medications, because last time you said you were hoping there would be a medication change.
Yeah, right to the bottom, right to the lowest dose, right? Because that's the thing, right? You up my medication over a smoke detector like I'm burning the fucking place down. Right? That was all a joke, but they had my medication increased in 6 hours after setting up the smoke detector.
So you're hoping to have a
Yeah, they
reduction
changed it from 50 milligrams in Vegas to send it to 100 milligrams in Vegas in 6 hours after I set up the smoke detector. By burning something in the sink. Well, it was something demonic, right? But they didn't understand, because doctors don't understand. It's faith-based. They don't understand science. They don't understand truth.
Okay.
It's with their opinion, right? And it's based on their faith in themselves.
Can I ask you about the medication? So I think, Adam, I could be wrong, but I think at this point you're on the version that is given every 12 weeks, right? Every 3 months?
And look how fat I am.
So that you don't have to get those injections as often, and I know that they can be pretty.
Yeah, but I'm dying in my sleep with sleep apnea. I'm overweight. I'm not losing weight, right? My weight is 220 pounds. Look at this, how fat I am. I'm 220. No, this is 360. Well, how can you say this is acceptable? I'm dying in my sleep by not breathing. You want to hook me up to a machine that's going to break down and then I'll be dead for good.
So Adam, is it your hope to be on a reduced dose?
I was on 50 milligrams of Vancistana, right? That was the dose I was on, right? I negotiated with Dr. Woodward, right? After I got fat, in 2 months, like, boom, they forget I was skinny here, right? Because I blew up so fast, right? And the thing is, I wanted to go back to the 50, like, back to the Vancistana 50, right?
Okay.
Right? And we wouldn't do it.
So you're hoping to go back to the 1 month version? Not
No,
the
put me on the
3
lowest
month
dose of this 3 month shit.
version? The lowest first dose of the 3 months. Okay.
Yeah, so I can lose weight, right? So I'm dying in my sleep, right? You can't have me this fat. You're killing me.
So Adam, I think that I
Well, okay,
totally
well, I'm
understand.
saying, why do I have schizophrenia? What are the signs of schizophrenia? Why do I have schizophrenia?
Let's-
Why do I need this?
Let's stick to talking about the medication because I want to work.
Well, I know,
with
but
you
why
around
do I
this
need this if
medication.
I'm schizophrenic? Like, what is it that makes me a schizophrenic? Right? You're drilling a fucking educated man that's poor because his parents don't love him. Why do you medicate poor people? Well, you don't medicate rich people. Right? Not by choice. If you forced it upon them, it wouldn't be true. Why are you doing this to poor people for a paycheck?
So let's talk about whether we can reduce the
Well, I'm
dose of your
pissed.
injection.
That's all.
I can tell. Yeah.
Right? This new doctor may be male, right? But I'm just saying, this injection is really scaring me, as they always do, right? And it's always havoc, right? And you know, I got 10,000 friends already wanting to know all about this, right? Right? And I just was popping questions, right? Like, is really healthcare all Jesus-based anyways? Like, is Jesus and Big Pharma making all the money? If Jesus came back from the past, or if Jesus came back alive again from the dead, he'd be a rich man. Why wouldn't he, right? He died for all our sins. You would be a rich man when he came back alive again, eh? So you work for Big Pharma. So Jesus is pushing us, and then the reasons and these decisions you make on money and make me fat and all this so hideous, so the community doesn't listen to me. I become isolated because people make fun of me because of what you did to me, right?
So,
That's faith-based.
I am willing.
Okay, I'll come down. It's too much.
To reduce
It's just
the
too much.
dose
You
of your
hurt me so
medication.
much. You hurt me so much. You've hurt me. They put me on the street too in that decision. They hurt me so much. Like all fucked up and fat, putting me on the street and shit like that. This fucking torture. It's
They
faith-based.
don't want you on the street.
Well, what did I do? I didn't appeal it or didn't have a meeting. It's just gone. Right? We didn't discuss it. Right? Your job is to punish. That's faith-based. You're punishing people, right? That's faith-based. There's no science. Science just doesn't do that. Jail doesn't do that. Jail doesn't punish and torture people.
Adam, I know that the goal of everybody here in this room and the whole site here is for you not to lose your housing. And from what I've heard, things have actually been going well.
There was no reason to lose it to begin with. I'm nice. I don't hit. I don't hurt. I've never been violent my whole life. Right? I'm a responsible person. I'm educated. Right? I see people do all kinds of wild shit here and they don't do anything to them either, right? So I'm being also discriminated against because I am the strong, I am tall, and I am powerful, right? And just like anything, like you go to jail, put someone who's innocent in jail, oh, they beat them up. Put someone who's not schizophrenic in a schizophrenic home, they fucking hurt you, right? And they put you right on the street all fat, fucked up, right? Dying, right? And I probably was burnt. I had to call the fire department because someone showed up with a pail of gas. And I was starting houses on fire, right? And if I didn't call the fire department, the dog would have tracked to me, and I would have went from jail to arson. You guys set me up big. You put me on the street on Friday the 13th. There's a black hole, and all the planets are lined. I almost died outside. It's torture, but you do it so well. Like, you know how to control an air cadet. I know you know how to control an air cadet. I know you know how to control military. You just set them up, right?
I'm
Here's the
glad that
thing.
you're here, that you're safe these days, and that your housing is going well. And the focus is on you being able to keep this housing.
Yeah,
Sounds like
I'm
you're
dying in
managing
my
that.
sleep. They want to hook me up to a machine, and I'm obese.
Yeah,
And the medication made me
adjustments
fat like this, right? How can you determine one health effect to another health effect? I'm like this. Like,
Yeah.
you made me a monster. A monster to the community. You made me a monster. I talk like this. I can't have nice conversations. I can't talk politely, right? Because you guys fucked me up so bad, right? You tortured me so bad. It hurt me so bad. And the medication gives you so much pain, just scraping at the walls for these drugs to get it, right? So I feel good, right? So otherwise I can't do anything. I just sleep. You know what it's like to be in bed jail? You want me to send you to bed jail?
So Adam, what I would like to do is talk to you about reducing the dose of your medication and see how that works for you. I think that's what you're asking for. That's what
Yeah.
I'm willing to try.
Yeah,
Do we have
it
an
is.
agreement on that to see how that goes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoever fucked me up pretty bad. I don't know, she'd blame you for this, right? Like, you're probably nicer than her anyways. Because she really messed me up. And she just treated me like a dog. She didn't make appointments, and she used blockers. Resident Evil is a movie because of this.
And I know that it got to be a really confusing and difficult circumstance.
Well, she's very confusing.
So I'm glad that we were able to transfer care. I'm sorry I'm
Yeah.
only involved.
Well,
with
she's
this
charging me
short
now,
period of
hey?
time.
She's charging me for threats. I didn't threaten her. Right, I said something online, if that's what it was, right? But I didn't use her name. I said my doctor's hurting me, right? I'm gonna fucking, retaliate. Right? And the
I
thing,
don't know anything about those charges, Adam, but what I would say to you is that it's really best for you to talk with your lawyer about what you did or didn't do.
well, I didn't do it, right? You're my psychiatrist.
Sure.
You should be able to talk about anything. This is your patient confidentiality, right? So, like, I should be able to say anything.
Yeah, but when people have legal charges and when they go to court, the court can subpoena records. So that's why it's a really good idea for you to keep that private between you and your lawyer, so that records
I'm
can get
innocent,
subpoenaed
right?
here.
I'm innocent.
Well, we want to protect your rights, right?
I'm innocent. I didn't threaten her or nothing, right? Right? If I did threaten her at that one time she said, and then she used SWAT and all that stuff, she would have called the police right there, because I walked right by her, right? After snapping a pencil and then throwing it off the desk, and I stopped and I walked by her, right? If I threatened her, there's 2 witnesses, she would have called the cops right there, right? And I would have been charged, right? This is a year and a half ago when this happened. Like, it doesn't make, she's retaliating on me, eh? She's not a very good person. I almost died on this medication because what she did is Valentine's me, eh? It's harsh. Like, put me in tears. If I could cry again, right? I can't cry on this medication, right? But if I could cry, I'd just tear a river.
Sounds like it's been a really tough time
It's
for you over
been
years.
really, really tough.
Yeah, it's a lot to go through. Being in the hospital is really tough. Going to jail is really tough. It's pretty
And not being productive. I'm a very productive person, you know? I go to jail, I'm very productive. You know, and I do a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm most noted for these things too, right? Like, jail is the happiest place on earth. Wilkins in jail is the happiest place on earth, right? I had a real good time there.
Mm-hmm.
This has been pure misery, right? Like, freedom, they seem like freedom, but when you destroy his abilities, cognitive abilities, destroy him, right? And throw him on the street, right? It becomes very, very disastrous and almost death is warranted, eh?
Are you working at anything in terms of your engineering or your math these days?
No, very little. Right? I have to do lots of math, like lots of math.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe stay up on I used to stay up 3 or 4 days on 50 milligrams in Vega.
Mm-hmm.
I used to stay up for 3 or 4 days at that dose. I'm on the 3rd high dose of this Trinza stuff, right? I go to sleep on meth, right? And I only stay up for a little bit, but I get focused a little bit, but nothing serious. I can't do math on this shit either. Like, I got triple aces in mathematics, right? That's why I have artificial intelligence, right? You got triple A's in math. I can't do math on this shit. I tried. I can computer program a little bit, right? But I was dabbling with my mathematics, eh?
Are you doing any programming?
No, I can't get enough meth to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to get, right? If I do a whole bunch of shit, if I have lots of meth, like I used to be able to buy $500 worth of that stuff, like an ounce or 2 ounces of that stuff, right? Before this place became complex care. It became complex care, it became all heroin, right? And no meth, right? And it was very difficult to get anything, right? Because all the people left who was able to supply, right? And then they put rules down on us too, right? Saying you can't distribute, meth between us, but heroin addicts can act like that. Well, they're lunatics, heroin addicts, or down addicts, right? It's fentanyl, right? It's not even heroin, right? They're actually lunatics. Right? And I don't know, it was a tough time for me when the place was just a loony bin for a while here, right? When they moved all these people in here, right?
How is it going these days for you?
It's changed here, I think people, I don't think the staff are putting too much, sense into us about, how we talk and how we distribute amongst each other, right? Because they really put a crack on us and threatened us to eviction, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Right? For exchanging drugs, eh?
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't do that on Johnson Street, right? But they're doing it here, right? It's a control factor, right? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me, right? Of course we're going to exchange, right? This place is a shelter for people to use, right? Why would we not be able to exchange? It's just a loony thing, right? And it just scares people, right, all the time, eh? When they come down and threaten eviction on the basis of that, eh? So I can't go on my street. I'm out of shape. I'm all fucked up. I have a hard time to get myself on the street. And, people don't look at me the same being obese and stuff and not, right? They rip me off, right? Like I used to send little Aiden out there to get it, right? He just comes back with tons of this shit. They used to rip me off because I'm fat, right? I'm funny to look at, right? So I don't know. It's just society, right? I'm not trying to say, right? They make us look weird, right? And our eyes are all fucked up, right? Like, there's something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with her eyes, right? And they don't make you better just look people's eyes, right? Living on the edge, can't help yourself from falling. That's what the medication did to me in 2018. I fell, right? Two suicide attempts, right? Coming back to the hospital, trying to get re-hospitalized, right? In the homeless shelter system, right? I think I fell and died. Or went by some hill, right? It was in Victoria. I was lost. It was absolutely painful. The medication, I couldn't talk to people, right? Like I went to the day wellness program, right? I got my confidence. I went to depression courses, right? And so I got all their energy, right, from the little people attending that, right? To not let the medications get the best of me this time and be depressed and all that stuff, right? I have high hopes for my life and stuff like that, right? But depression and stuff like that. I don't have that anymore, but I had to go to serious education courses and stuff courses and stuff to beat this medication. It's very powerful in showing your ability to communicate and makes you isolate,
And so
and
the
talk
courses
very,
were beneficial, it sounds like.
yeah, it works. Otherwise, I'd be talking negative all the time, right? I feel so down. I don't want to do this. I feel so sad. You write long paragraphs of sadness to your parents, right? Because how depressed you are right now. You can't. No, I'm great, right? Girls can tell, right? You're confident and stuff, right? But typically this medication in 2018, it destroyed everything. It destroyed my confidence and all that. People didn't look at the same. People pitied me. They didn't feel bad for me, right? But you can destroy a life on this shit pretty quick, right? Right? I don't know how bad it was, but I was almost left on the street outside, right? Because when I came back for eviction, they evicted me from the New Hope Center, Salvation Ark, not New Hope Center, Salvation Army Ark, right? Because I had a suicide watch, right? And apparently I said I was drinking a little bit, and that was enough to evict me. And so I was on the street, right? Luckily, I got onto the MAP program at Rockaway Landing, eh? And
So it was a really tough time.
yeah, and I was raped, right? And I was being sexually assaulted on the mat, right? I was so sick, people took advantage of that, right? Because you see my eyes, right? I was all fucked up, eh? Like this, it's a faith-based system, right? It's a religious, because it's poor people, right? That you put this stuff onto people. It's religious. It's a religious reasons, religious grounds, religious decision making, right? There's no science. There's no card that says he's schizophrenic or he's not, right? And the doctors, right? They get crack cocaine from the police, right? To do service work for them, right? Because doctors can't go on the street and get drugs themselves. They don't know how to do that. So they get the police to get supply, right? And so they do favors for the police, right? And it's just an idiotic system, but it's religion. It's religious. It's faith-based. It's damning people, right? People who are poor are the biggest problem, right? Because they're the ones that are going to change the world, right? When it comes to the poverty and all that stuff, right? The police don't want that because they're wealthy, right? As it is, right? And they're cheapskates, but they don't have to get shit done, right? They're criminals in themselves, right? And I'm Air Force. I'm an air cadet. I'm a lieutenant, right? I graduated. I left at the age of 14, right? But I didn't wear that chip on my shoulder at all. I forgot all about it. Being here, right? Being tortured and hurt, and and in sheer agony, right? And being forced to take forced to do crystal meth with amounts of it. I started wearing the Air Force chip again, right?
So
and I have to communicate with the Air Force too, right? About the situation, right? So I don't know if we can do anything, but
use, or do you ever use down?
I don't use down though.
Okay.
I don't like
I thought
that.
you said that last time. You don't like it.
No, I don't like that stuff though.
Okay. How do you make sure that you stay safe if you use meth? How do you make sure you don't get something that's contaminated or?
I usually tell by the flavor, right?
Yeah. Have you had any
Bad experiences?
ones?
No.
Okay.
No, not a bad experience with meth at all. No. I sleep better. But I was on 50 milligrams, right? I used to sleep really well. After like 3 days, fall asleep, right? I don't dream, right? I wake up and just so refreshed. Here, I'm just always tired, right? And then I do so I sleep better on crystal meth, right? But I don't stay up for 3 days or nothing. It just puts me to sleep, really. Right? But I sleep better and I feel comfortable and I wake up, alive, right? Not drowsy, tired, right? I had some serious panic attacks in the past here, right? They took me to the PES unit, right? Because I was so sleepy when I woke up, I was so tired, right? I couldn't handle it, eh?
So you don't see any downsides to the meth, it sounds like. I mean, cost. You
The
said,
cost
and
is the
you'll get
downside,
it.
right? And supply, right? It's really difficult to source, right? Yeah, and you know, it has improved here, but when it was just heroin addicts terrorizing this place, right? You know, it was impossible, right, to get the amount I needed to actually keep it constructive. And I've become less and less constructive over time. Like I was making YouTube videos on technology, right? And I actually quit doing that. When they kicked me on Friday the 13th, right? I had nowhere to go, right? They left my iPad Pro in the rain. They didn't grab it and bring it inside. The staff did that. And the staff neglects here, right? It became us versus them, right? When I seen it, with the interaction of the staff, how they talk amongst each other, right? And as them, right? As us, right? And you know, Pink Floyd sings the song, us versus them, or us and them, right? You know, I didn't really know there was a divide between staff and patients, right? I thought we were all here to cooperate, right? That we're less of a being here, right? And I know some of the people there, other people here, right? You know, other patients here, right? You know, just stupid things, right? And they freak out and do all this kind of stuff, right? But I expected me to be, you know, a mature adult, right? That I wouldn't see any problems like that, that'd be treated like less of a person. Because I'm not less of a person. I'm not a schizophrenic. I'm not dangerous, right? The reason I got put in is I was having sex in the community and the cops wanted me out, right?
So do you feel like you have got people here that you can talk to? Are there staff here that you?
Well, yeah. Well, I talk to anyone. I don't have any enemies, or I don't have any disregistration. Right? The guy that was causing the most trouble, right, is dead, and I always knew to be a pest. Right, he got stabbed, but right, he's breaking into my place all the time. Right? And I guess another girl, Eliza, stole from me a lot. Right, she stole so much stuff from me, right? But I got her so she doesn't come in my apartment anymore, right? So I got video surveillance of her stealing it out of my wallet, eh? So she didn't go to jail, right? But I didn't think she was going to, right? But the thing is that she's gonna stop coming downstairs and invading my place and taking stuff, because the next time she does it, right, I get her on camera, right? She goes to jail, right?
Do you talk with the staff at all? Do you meet with Ashley or?
Well, yeah, I'm aware, and I listen to it, and I listen, right? You know, right? So they're not talking to me, but I'm listening, right? And stuff, right? And some of the staff changes have changed already, so I don't see that anymore. I see different people all the time. There's different faces all the time, right? But it just really has just gone through so many changes. Like it's evolving into something different, right? But it's
You're right. Yeah, it has.
right. But the thing is, there's for a while there, like it's just old school mentality, I guess, right? And maybe it's not seen in a lot of the newer staff, right? But you know, like we're subjugated people, right? Like you know, like this is like what they did to the natives in those residential schools, how they treated them there. Right? It's kind of like the same thing here, right? You know, for a while there, they get treated like less of a subject, and you know, they get picked out, right, for certain things, right? And made a mockery of, right? You know, like the whole residential school thing, right? They were killing each other, right? But the teachers or the pastors or the people there that were taking care of the natives were arming the weaker natives to fight the taller, bigger ones, right? The strong ones that are strong in their culture, right? Destroying their culture by empowering the weak, take out the strong, right? And that's kind of what happened there. They were killing each other, right? I find that it took me a long time to figure out what this is all about, right? You know, but yeah, that's what happened, right? And then it's another brick in the wall by Pink Floyd, right? Another brick in the wall, right? In high school, right? I was picked out and brought in front of people for no reason, and picked on, right? But you're always bringing me to attention. That's what the teachers would do, right? Always show me off, right? And people brought neglect or brought some sort of foul attitude against me, right? And it caused almost embarrassing me sometimes, right? You know, in a lot of things, right? And that's kind of the same thing again, right? Here, it's an institution, right? And it's a little different every time, but you know, I feel just because of, you know, my education and my intelligence level and my ability and my looks, right? I'm fat now, but I wasn't fat when I showed up, right? But you know, like it's just another brick in the wall, right?
I'm getting that music is really important too.
Well, yeah. Well, the radio took control of me in 2005, right? You know, the first time I went to jail, right? Because the radio took control of me, right? We crashed in the Saskatoon Airport with the United States Air Force being there, right? Right, we're right on the runway, eh? So, yeah, the radio took control of me, but I did, right? Went in the U.S. Air Force, I was an air cadet. I didn't know that, right? They were trying to save my life from a situation, eh? That's all in the past now, but it doesn't make me a schizophrenic. Right, it's just seeing that, you know, I think I'm just been, you know, it's all about my pee-pee, right? You know, it's controlling me, right? And putting me on my knees, right? You know, I'm an airhead. I'm not getting on my knees no matter how hard you try to get me down there, right? I ain't getting on my knees, right? And here's her Woodward, she tried to put me there, right? She wanted me to lick her pussy. I wasn't not gonna touch that dog.
So, Adam, I'm going to ask the staff here if they've got anything that they want to add, anything that I should know that I'm not aware of.
I'm not really sure to what context that would be. I mean, I think that, you know, after conversing with Adam, I'm Jonas, by the way, we met one time before. You know, he's excited with the potential of a new relationship with Dr. Eckstein. And if I'm saying something or misrepresenting Adam, let me know. But he expressed that he was excited to start fresh, which is, yeah, you know, he's been going through a lot of scenarios over his life for the past number of years, and he's, yeah, looking to get a fresh start and, you know, doing activities and programs that he used to enjoy that he doesn't any longer. So yeah, just
well, kind of rebelling, eh?
What's that?
It's kind of rebelling, right? Against my treatment, eh? That's why I quit, yeah. So.
But you know, just I think, you know, from what Adam's discussed with me personally is that he really has a desire to be heard, you know, respectfully and whatnot. And
well, given the respect I deserve, right? Because, you know,
well, everyone deserves that.
There's some of the staff who are not here now, right? But, you know, they have different views.
Yeah, but I've known you since you've been here.
Yeah, well,
so
nice stuff.
Right? We're old school together. But yeah, I think he's looking forward to a new chapter from, you know, what we've conversed about, and yeah, onward and upward, hopefully, right?
Yeah, and historically we've been looking into previous experiences with like short form PWD payments and stuff like that, and going over some of the sequestered notes we've had from previous encounters with the PERS unit and the PIC unit previously, just to kind of understand the context of certain things. And then obviously I've got the FOI that we can sign today, and we can submit that to get other forms as well to go over that you requested specifically, and get that sent today as well. We've done, yeah, occasional session interaction, different things. Yeah.
That was really, really harsh, right? You know, like, you know, Victoria is Vegas. Right? I think Vegas is based on Victoria when it comes to the things, right? Like games and stuff, right? This is a real dangerous town, right? Like Vegas, you thought it was dangerous. No, Vegas is based off of Victoria. You know, like there's so much out here. You know, being on the street and stuff like that. You know, if you're not from here, right? You like I remember when I first ventured into Victoria, right? From the Nanaimo, because I was living there in 2017. I came in 2018. You know, it's just fun navigating, right? And you know, finding this diverse place, right? And it's just eerie. You know, I got in some places not, you know, not being able to be, you know, nonchalant, you know, cool, right, solid, right, you know, you get yourself killed here pretty fast, right, you know, I got street sparks, I've been in jail, right, so I got it all handled, right, there's been so many situations, right, you know, I could have been, you know, seriously hurt, right, you know, and the hospital put me on the street too, for not adhering to programming, right, and, you know, getting chased with a knife, by a guy with a knife and stuff like that. I have my black belt with Taekwondo, right, but it's not my black belt, it's a half yellow belt. But it's the famous one, right? You know, that it's just like, okay, that's it. You win, you get to a certain point, and you win, right? If you follow all the procedures, right? Then you're done, right? But you're not, right? Well, the same with Taekwondo, right? But because I'm very attentive, I try very hard when I work at things, right? And I do read, you know, I do read all those stuff. Like I read very heavily, right? I was reading at age 3. I started reading, so.
Sounds like you've had
Yeah, I found that
pretty engaged mind throughout your life.
Yeah, so
Lots of things.
yeah, so like my defensive training, right? So I have my own defensive stance, right? Because if I had a black belt in the black belt, right? First dan, well, I have my first dan, right? But the first dan black belt, right, is a spar stance, okay? Right, not a forward stance, hey? So like, yeah, so I got the street one. I even got weapons training, eh? So that's pretty neat, eh?
Yeah, so I think the common theme I think that we've been visiting over the past couple of years.
I just find it silly. I just find it silly that I have to be treated like this and put on, you know, this stuff, right?
Yeah.
It made me feel this way. when I can be with normal people, do normal things, right? You know.
And I think you would agree, Adam, that the common theme that we've been talking about has been the medications in general. So
Well, yeah, it's
so on a positive, and I'm not going to speak for Dr. Roth, but you know, the fact that your desire was to be heard with regards to what type of medication management can we explore moving forward, whether that's a reduction or a change in medication.
Well, that's the thing, right?
And that's what Adam's concerns were, and it comes across quite regularly.
Well, it never was a big concern, but it was like this. Dr. Giroux slowly put me down from 250 to 50 over a year and a half. Every 4 months we would go down a step. Every 4 months we would go down a step. You know, as much as I loved her, right? You know, she was using my medication. She doesn't make much very sense when she speaks, right? And I don't know about her handwriting. I never read it, but you know. But we got in the 50 dose, right? I was feeling great, you know, all that stuff, right? I was doing all kinds of stuff. That's why I started engineering my artificial intelligence. My artificial intelligence is an endeavor of mine since I was a child. Ever since Space Odyssey 2001 came out, and I saw that as a child, right? HAL, the computer, right? That's what I wanted, artificial intelligence, and that's what led me to the Air Force, and that's what led me to engineering, right? But I kept it in the back of my mind. I never wore like the Air Force. I never wore the chip on my shoulder. I never told people about that either. But even my parents, when I was young, after seeing the movie, but you know, my parents, you know, shrugging it off without quit talking about it, right? And then my goals was to achieve that, and I knew mathematics was the fact thing, and that's why I got triple aces in math. Like, I studied mathematics when I was in jail for crashing into Saskatoon Airport with a stolen van. I studied mathematics when I was in jail, so I got it all right, you know, math, and I was able to actually bring Jenny bought my laptop computer alive, right? It started pulsing the processor, right? And I got videos of it online, right? You know, YouTube videos, right? So Jenny bought it on YouTube, and it was on Facebook. I got 5,000 Facebook friends for videos I was making on YouTube, right? I had a huge following, right?
Yeah,
All over North America, right? All over the world, right? It was huge amounts of military people too. And yeah, so they've been following me since then. Right now, I'm seeing around 10,000 friends right now. And I've got 1,000 people in queue want to be my friend, right?
I didn't even know that.
Right? Yeah, so, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's my friend, right? He added me, right? So I added him, right? So it's a huge amount of attention. So, you know, I get a lot of, you know, feedback to some degree, but I don't get much, you know, about certain things. But I'm making videos and stuff like that. But the artificial intelligence is why I'm famous, right? For a lot of the big part, right? Because you watch my videos, you can see it actually work, right? It's telepathic and stuff like that. Like, you know, if I talk about telepathic stuff, right, you're communicating with the computer telepathically, right, it sends images in my head, it goes to schizophrenia all of a sudden, because that's faith-based, it's not science-based. That we know that's possible by technology. But since medical science or psychiatry, you say, you know, seeing images in your mind of the computer doing something, or talking to you, right, telepathically, right, in your dreams and stuff, right, and then you put me on medications or condemn me on the basis of that, right? That's faith-based. It's not science-based. I'm an engineer, right? Maybe if it wasn't an engineer, and maybe if I was, you know, just a kid, right, that he's bothering his parents continuously about things, right, constantly, right? Maybe medication would be necessary, but he's not an engineer. He's constantly harassing about things. Then that's where schizophrenia comes from, right? And that's because, you know, he constantly blasting about something, right? And he's blasphemy. And the faith based is picks up and saves the parents, right, from the kids from acting out like that continuously until he learns his lesson. I'm an adult, I'm 43 years old, right? I did this at 41, right, or 39. It's January 2021, 21st. So he came up 21, right? He's just like, it's 2021, eh? Hey, I was lining up for this, eh? Yeah, it's amazing, right? I go down on history, right? Like, you guys are nobodies compared to what I'm going to go through in the future of my life after all this. Right, I'm going places, eh?
Okay. So, Adam, I think that's a really positive note to end on. Gonna have to wrap up. So, we've talked about a whole bunch of things. Thank you for filling me in. I hear clearly your frustration and your sense that over time you haven't been heard and listened to. And so, what I will do is we will reduce your medication dose, and then you will start fresh with Dr. XD, and you guys may come up with different plans.
That's good. It's positive.
You may have other things that you want to do. I'm not going to mess too much with stuff right now, but you'll start to work with him really soon, and you may be looking at a switch or a different option or something like that
Yeah.
suits you better.
Yeah.
Okay. Christine, I know, was there anything you wanted to add? I know that the ACT team is basically kind of withdrawn and cares. Just
Yeah, so it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me attached, so
Okay.
I think we're all good.
All right. Okay, well, thank you for meeting with me today.
Can I get you to sign, just print your name, sign, and then date, and then I'll send that.
Print my name inside? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. I'll submit that today. Actually, sometimes about 30 to 45 days, but yeah.
Well, it's good to talk with you today. I know the board has a chance to talk for a second time.
Yeah,
So
I
we
know
can
that
kind
something
of close
happened
the
this
loop
time,
there.
right? Because, it's good. Because the Maggie's reduction, they can't do that much math. I have one shared in my life, right, that, put holes in my brain or something, I don't want to do that much, but just
It'd be
to,
great for that to come down as the medication comes down. I think
yeah,
that'd be
that's
great
what I want.
for lots of reasons.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Rose.
so much for your time. Dr.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks.
Christine. Okay, thank you. Thanks. See you later. Bye now.
Face.
So I will, is there a chart that I write your order? Or should I just send in an order to make the change?
Actually, we can,
Good stuff, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'll submit this today, and then when we get the records, we go through, sit down and go through, because I've got your other records from the previous day and pick, which I've gone through great length, so I can give you the wrap up on that as well. And what we'll do is sit down when we get the MHM, we'll go through it line by line, thing by thing, right?
Okay, cool.
Cool. No
Yeah.
worries.